and hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in for this interesting discussion about the successful process between Schneider Electric and the Israeli startup Prisma Photonics. My name is Yuval Engelstein. I'm the Industry 4.0 sector lead in Startup Nation Central. Joining me from Schneider Electric, Jean-Louis, Senior Vice President of New Product Launches and Innovation, leading strategy with partners globally in Schneider Electric, and Eran Inbar, CEO at Prisma Photonics. Thank you very much for the both of you for participating. I'll start with Jean-Louis, my first question. So, Schneider Electric has become very active in the last couple of years in searching for open innovation in general, and specifically in the Israeli Industry 4.0 sector. Can you talk a bit about your open innovation activities and why have you decided to focus on the Israeli Industry 4.0 sector?
Yeah, hello Yuval, and hello Eran, and hello everyone from freezing Boston. I wish I could be with you in Tel Aviv today. And as introduced by Yuval, I'm very proud to lead the partnership with startups at Schneider Electric. So as a quick reminder just to the audience about Schneider Electric, what we do, so we deliver full stack solutions, so hardware, software, and services for our customers to help them really electrify, automate, and digitize their operations for maximum efficiency and sustainability. Of course, today in the full direction to decarbonize our world. So this is really the main focus for Schneider, specifically in building data centers, industry and infrastructure like smart grid and electrical mobility. So we'll come back to that. In the context of innovation with startups, I think we made two important decisions about 2 years ago, and I would just highlight following. First one, we decided really to strategically step up our engagement with startups by establishing a full-fledged team to connect, invest, and partner with startups in order to help really our mothership to structurally accelerate our innovation to market cycle. Second, as part of this framework, we selected Israel as one of our key platforms to invest based on our assessment that Israel is an incredible high-quality base for entrepreneurs and startups. And since then, we have only accelerated our commitment. So recently we invested in growth, and we have a lot of partnership already to be very proud and excited about, like with Clarity, Anyvision, Evolution Networks, Inspecto, Quality Line, and obviously Prisma Photonics. So I'm very happy to share more in a minute after letting Eran introduce the secret sauce of Prisma Photonics.
Thank you very much. Eran, could you please tell about Prisma Photonics technology and why Schneider Electric is particularly interesting for you?
Yeah, thank you, Yuval, and thank you, Jean-Louis. Just to give you in a nutshell what Prisma Photonics is doing. So we're having a very simple way to transform physical infrastructure into smart infrastructure. We do it in I would say, a simple and cost-effective way, but yet with best-in-class results. We are basically using pre-existing fiber optic cables along the infrastructure to monitor the infrastructure. So we can turn a physical infrastructure into a smart one without any installation of sensors along the infrastructure. And this is relevant to many segments like the oil and gas and electrical grids, smart cities, and many others. And I would say that, of course, Schneider Electric, as a leading industrial integrator, has a strong interest in smart physical infrastructure. And maybe I would give an example to show what's the value proposition and why it's relevant, taking it into the oil and gas segment. With our technology, you can detect leakage from an oil and gas pipeline. You can detect it much earlier than any other conventional technology, with a much higher confidence level. And this is enabling technology for a leading player in the oil and gas industry. And I think that this is part of the mutual interest in this relationship.
So back again to you, Jean-Louis. So how Prisma Photonics align with the Schneider Electric business? And can you elaborate more on your internal process working with them, with Prisma Photonics? What made it successful?
Yeah, so about the partnership with Prisma Photonics, so the baseline is always about solving a real problem, a real life problem that the market was not able to solve before. So I think the benefit of this opportunity to partner between a company like Schneider and a team like Prisma Photonics is really understanding what is a real problem to solve and basically finding a way to bring that to the market in a very cost-effective and, of course, user-friendly experience. So within Schneider, we constantly engage and listen with our line of business. It's the army, the army, they try to win the war, of course, for sure. But the challenge for the army is they don't really understand the innovation by itself, but they know what the problem they try to solve. So our mission, we have around 30 lines of business in Schneider, so we constantly engage and listen with them to understand what really are the innovation priorities, what the problem they try to solve. And as mentioned before, we are quite big in energy market, and our customers are operating large infrastructure like pipelines and distribution grids that are very expensive to maintain and protect, and quite difficult, to be clear. Because once you have laid on the pipeline, over thousands of kilometers or miles, actually, you have maybe some sensors. They're always dirty, very difficult to maintain, so very difficult to protect. So one of these issues for pipeline operators is really about detecting a leak that can be very costly and, of course, damaging to the environment if there's a leak that happens. So when we met with Prisma Photonics about a year ago, this was a hunch. And I think over the past 6 months, and despite the COVID, I think very important to notice, we were really able to connect with the business, and the business of Schneider, who is really working with those customers, became very excited about this opportunity. So we are now at this stage, I would say, where internally people are fully convinced. We have already started to engage in joint marketing with some of the customers to really go for a first sale together, and so we can really validate the integration of the two technology into a unified value proposition. And of course, step by step, as we are going to get more traction in customer engagement, we are going to integrate our technology more and more so that it becomes super seamless in terms of user experience. So I think that's a very good example of the partnership model we have built within Schneider. And of course, we are super excited and bullish about this collaboration with Prisma.
Thank you. Eran, how did you manage to conduct this successful pilot with Schneider Electric during COVID-19? And you can also say when was the first time that you met each other?
So I think that the COVID-19 period was really challenging, but I think that as a lot of things, everything is starting with personal relationship. And I think that we were lucky to build a very strong relationship with the innovation division at Schneider Electric, both at the headquarters and in Israel. And that was the real initiator for the mutual cooperation. But then we find ourselves just a step in front of doing a pilot together, test and validation, and then suddenly COVID-19 and all the traveling restriction and all the plan was changed. But I think that the bottom line is trying to be creative in such a period. And what we did together is that Schneider Electric built for us the testing plan that they would like to see, and also the KPI, the goals, what results they would like us to see in order that it will be interesting for them. And then we did a pilot. We share, all the detailed data with them, videos and raw data and results. And they were in the process. We were doing the pilots. They are seeing the results. Even though we could not meet and could not walk face to face, it was a very tight period in which eventually we didn't lose time and we successfully achieve all the goals that we put for ourselves in those 2 quarters of initial testing and validation. So I think bottom line is trying to be creative when time change and need to replan and rearrange.
Thank you very much, Eran, and thank you very much, Jean-Louis. This is all the time we have. And thank you for your insightful answers. And I'm sure many people listening have learned a lot. I sure did. And thanks for all the listeners Have a productive and enjoyable rest of the conference. And back to you, Wendy.